So for the past 24 hours or so, Donald Trump, Margery Taylor Greene, and the MAGA Republicans have been having an Easter meltdown, just completely losing their minds. And honestly, it's kind of entertaining because they're all getting themselves worked up over nothing. Like they're freaking out over lies that managed to spread throughout the MAGA community throughout the United States. And if you've been on social media in the past day or so, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the story just got worse because Donald Trump decided to chime in with his own Easter statement today, which we'll talk about later in the video. But we have to start with the meltdown that we saw from Republicans yesterday over literally nothing. So as you probably know, today is March 31st. It is Easter this year in 2024. It's a very significant religious holiday for Christians around the world. But it also happened to fall on a certain day this year as well. This whole freakout from MAGA Republicans started when Joe Biden issued this proclamation the other day. And essentially, he declares March 31st, 2024, as Transgender Day of Visibility. So, it's a very important day. The trans community has historically been oppressed and marginalized, and it's important to recognize these people and make sure that they know that they're loved and they're cared about, and all these Republicans attacking them are baseless and they're just garbage, right? But as you can probably see where I'm going with this, it falling on the same day as Easter has caused an uproar in the MAGA Republican community. And it led to some of the biggest players in the game on the far right side to chime in on this matter, such as Margery Taylor Greene. In response to this proclamation from the White House, she put out this tweet yesterday, and she said, Biden and the Democrats decided Easter, the holy day of our Savior's resurrection, as Transgender Day of Visibility. There's no length that Biden and the Democrats won't go to mock your faith and to thumb his nose at God. That's obviously a very bold statement, some very big accusations there, especially because Joe Biden himself is a very religious man who goes to church virtually every single Sunday. He talks about his faith a lot. So, she's making a lot of noise here, as she usually does. But surprise, it's a lie. This is just not true. Nobody is thumbing their nose at any religion or mocking anybody's faith. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. Because, as you can see from this fact check by CNN, Transgender Day of Visibility has fallen on the exact same day every single year since 2009. Since 2009, it has always been on March 31st. But as you'll know, Easter does not fall on the same day every single year. It changes. Anybody familiar with Easter knows that. So this year, it happens to fall on March 31st. But last year, in 2023, it fell on April 9th. And the year before that, it was a different date. And the year before that, it was a different date as well. So they're getting worked up over nothing. This is a lie. Joe Biden is not picking Easter and picking on religious people. It just happens to be the same day every single year, and Republicans are trying to spin this as an attack on people of faith, which, again, makes absolutely no sense. So they've been spreading this lie, but it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there because right-wing media, specifically Fox News, also decided to chime in on the whole anger surrounding Easter from conservatives this year. When are they not angry about something that's fake, right? So Fox News decided to post this article on their website and on different social media platforms. It says, religious-themed designs banned from the White House Easter egg art contest. This was a egg art contest for military service members' kids. They draw a design and submit it, and a winner is picked. And Fox News is reporting that Biden has banned religious themes from this art contest. And we know the way they're framing it. They're trying to say that, again, Biden is attacking religion. He's doing this to be woke or whatever thing they're deciding to be angry about today. But again, this is not new and this is not true. As you can see from this fact check directly from the White House, this fact check coming from Andrew Bates, a spokesperson, saying, and he kind of takes a shot at Fox News here, which is fun. The only, quote, news outlet in U.S. history to pay almost $1 billion for lying to their viewers/readers has eggs on their faces again. This story is about nonpartisan guidelines that has been in operation for 45 years, including during the last administration. So the religious art designs, religious symbols being barred from the art designs being submitted has been in place for 45 years, and as you can imagine, for obvious reasons. And that also includes the Trump administration. So this whole thing that Fox News and Republicans are freaking out about has also taken place under many Republicans, including Donald Trump. Both of these things took place under a Republican and a Democrat, specifically with the design one, many Republicans and many Democrats. And, as I said earlier, it's just always really funny to see the fake outrage from the Republicans. Democrats, again, are constantly thinking about the issues, what matters to the people, what can change their lives for the better. Republicans are thinking about Easter egg design contests, I suppose. They're also claiming that Joe Biden is ruining Easter when they just can't read. Not sure how they love self-owning themselves all the time, but it's happened again. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, the whole story just got worse because Donald Trump decided to chime into the Easter Day, Easter celebration anger with his own Easter message today. And I'm going to show you the statement in a second, but I just find it very ironic how for the past 24 hours, MAGA Republicans and conservatives have been saying that Easter is not a day for politics. Get your politics out of Easter. But then Trump releases this statement, which I'll put up on the screen right now. He says, "Happy Easter to all, including crooked and corrupt prosecutors and judges that are doing everything possible to interfere with the presidential election and put me in prison, including those many people that I completely and totally despise because they want to destroy America, a now failing nation." And then he goes on to attack Jack Smith, Fani Willis, talking about the recent efforts to disqualify her from the case in Georgia. And then also at the bottom goes on a rant about Alvin Bragg, saying, "And lazy on violent crime, Alvin Bragg, who with crooked Joe Biden, DOJ's thugs." And we'll cut off the statement there to prevent any more brain numbing from this statement, because that's really what happens to all of us when we read anything that Donald Trump decides to put out. So I just find it pretty funny how all of these MAGA Republicans who were freaking out about this whole story for the past 24 hours, talking about the politics of it, are now celebrating this statement from Donald Trump, who only dedicated one line of his entire message to Easter. And it was only the first 4 words. But let me tell you, the rant didn't stop there. It didn't stop there. Donald Trump has been relentlessly posting on Truth Social today. Just take a look at this video I'm going to put up on screen right now of Donald Trump's postings. He's going after election lawyers. He's posting apparent polls of Joe Biden. He's putting out his own unhinged statements about different things that are bothering him today. The New York civil fraud judge. This is what Donald Trump has been spending his Easter doing. It's interesting for all of these MAGA Republicans who claim to love thy neighbor and love everybody seem to be very angry today. They seem to be very tense. Maybe they just need to relax maybe a little bit. But on the flip side of things, on the logical side of politics, aka the Democratic Party, Joe and Jill Biden put out their own Easter Day message. And as you can imagine, it was normal. It was great. There was no freakouts, no meltdowns, no attacking anybody, no mentioning any Republicans by name. It was fine. Check out the statement on your screen right now. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden and President Biden wrote, quote, "Jill and I join Christians around the world in celebrating Easter Sunday, a day of hope and joy, renewal and rebirth. It marks the end of Lent, a period of sacrifice and contemplation, and it commemorates Christ's resurrection, a powerful reminder of God's love and the promise of redemption for us all." So, whether you celebrate Easter or not, or whatever religion you may be, it's a nice message. It's lovely. It's a good Easter Day message for the people that it does apply to. And, I just want to point out one more time for the MAGA Republicans who are struggling to follow along. As you can see, not a single mention of any Republican's name in that statement, not a judge, not a prosecutor, nobody. Isn't it nice to have sane, logical, competent leadership in the White House? That's what that looks like. So once again, I just think that the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is on display before all of us, even on a holiday that they claim to care so much about. They're freaking out the day before about Transgender Day of Visibility, which isn't Easter and being religious all about love, like caring for everybody, making sure that everybody's heard. Isn't it ironic how they freak out when that happens to be coinciding with Easter one year? But it is just entirely hypocritical how they wanted politics out of Easter, and then when Donald Trump mentions politics, they love it. They eat it up. They share the statement everywhere saying, "Oh my God, the genius has spoken." But I also think that this should serve as a reminder for a lot of people as we approach the 2024 presidential election that, when you're at the ballot box, just remember this moment. Remember how during Easter, among the many other examples, Republicans spent their time lying, grifting, selling $60 Bibles, while Joe Biden and the Democrats were making a historically marginalized group feel welcomed, feel loved, feel seen. The latter is kind of the country I want to live in, not the former. And finally, last thing I'll say on this, just when we all thought that the MAGA Republicans, Donald Trump, Margery Taylor Greenes of the party, they couldn't get any worse. Just when we thought that they were at rock bottom with the lies, the conspiracy theories, the grifts, the scams, whatever, they managed to do it. They managed to take a holiday that's celebrated around the world by people of different backgrounds, origins, whatever, and turn it into something about hating people, hating a group, creating lies, creating conspiracy theories. They just every single day keep going lower and lower and lower. And they hope by doing this that they'll reelect Donald Trump in 2024 and, ideally in their world, keep him there forever and then have Don Jr. or Eric or Ivanka inherit the presidency one day. But this is why it's so important to stay involved and make our voices heard and share the messages that, people are coming up with in response to this, because they just can't get back into office. This is so absurd and ridiculous. It's just disgusting, I also think. So anyway, folks, that's going to wrap it up. If you celebrate Easter, have a great rest of your Easter. If you don't, have a happy Sunday, great rest of your day. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It goes such a long way. Of course, like the video, comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this. And of course, share the video with friends, family, loved ones, whoever in your circle that you would like to see it. And once again, I really appreciate it. And again, as I always say, at the end of these videos, let's keep working hard, keep making it happen, and we'll get what we want in 2024.